Oh, sorry, you wanted to learn about the 5-number summary. Alright, so the 5-number summary basically consists of minimum, first quartile, the median, which is also we call the second quartile, or Q2, and the third quartile, and the maximum. I think you know what the minimum and the maximum is without me having to explain it. However, let me say a little bit more about the first, second, and third quartile. The first quartile basically divides the first 25% and the last 75% of the data. So we also call this, just to make it even more confusing, the 25th percentile. Alright, the median divides the bottom 50% and the top 50% of the data. It is also known as the 50th excuse me, percentile. And the third quartile divides the bottom 75% of the data and the top 25% of the data. This is known as the, you guessed it, 75th percentile. Alright, so how do we find those things? Much easier than it sounds. Let me go ahead and start. Well, right away
I'm going to fill in the minimum and the maximum. The minimum is 120. Oh, and the maximum is 130. And then you say, well, wait a second, Mrs. Anderson. That doesn't look right because there's a higher value. So I have to first put these in order. Let's see. We have 120 is our lowest. We have another 120, 130, 140, and 180. Alright, now I'm going to get rid of our old data, and we've put it into order. I can easily see our minimum and our maximum now. Minimum 120, maximum 180. My medium, hey, guess what? I actually have a middle value. I have n equals 5 values. So I'm going to use the median of 130. This is the easiest way, without using a calculator or a computer to find the values for us. The easiest way to find the Q1 and Q3 is basically cross out the median. Then you're going to find the median of the first two numbers. Well, we have, in the first half, I should say. In this case, it's just two numbers. So we have two numbers here. We take the average, which in this case is 120 over 120 divided by 2, which is 120. Our first quartile and our minimum are actually the same here. For the last, it's not going to be the case. Q3 is the median of the last half. So in this case, it's 140 plus 180 divided by 2, or 160. Once I know my 5-number summary, which I do now, I can easily put this into a box plot. A box plot looks something like the following. A box plot looks something like the following, where you have whiskers, a box, a line in the box, and another whisker, where the end of this whisker is the minimum, the end of this whisker is the maximum, and guess what? We have Q1, Q2, Q3. Well, we often call Q2 just the median. So let's go ahead and draw the box plot for our previous data. The main thing that we want to do here is provide a scale. So if we want to start at 120, then I'm just going to go ahead and write a scale down here to make sure that I have the appropriate proportions in mind here. So the box goes from Q1 to Q3.
Q1 is 120, Q3 160. The median is 130. I don't have to draw any whiskers to the left because we are already at the minimum. However, I do have to draw a whisker to the right because we have one value of 180. So that would be the box plot for these 5 numbers, possibly refrigerator values, etc.